In this lesson, I want to cover the freeform feature. Open the freeform part from your Chapter 4 folder for Infinite Skills working files. This is the result of a freeform feature. Let's delete it and recreate it just so you can see how it was done. Freeform can be applied to solid features. So you can see right now I have a solid body. I can get rid of this surface body and just apply the freeform to the solid. In past releases, the freeform feature had a limitation that it could only work on four-sided surfaces. But in this case, we've got a surface with more than four sides. You can also apply a freeform feature to a curved surface, but you can only apply it to a single face at a time. So let's get started. Even though the freeform feature can be applied to solids or surfaces, you'll find it on the Surfaces toolbar. So let's click on this and see how to work through the freeform feature. The first step is to select a face that you want to create a shape on. The second step here is to apply symmetry. So I'm going to apply symmetry in direction 2. The next step of the workflow is to add curves. And if the curves aren't going the way you want them to go, you can press Tab on the keyboard and make them go the other way. I'm just going to apply a single curve right down the middle. The next step of the workflow is to add points to the curve. This is like adding points to a spline, and we will edit these points later on. So I'm going to click on Add Points and put down 2 spline points, and then turn off the Add Points option. Your triad orientation will apply a triad to each one of your control points when you're trying to edit the model. And how you set this setting will depend on how the triad is oriented. I prefer to have it always oriented the same way, so I use the global orientation. If you want to orient the triad according to the surface or the curve, then you can select one of those. If you need more visualization options, you can use the settings in the display panel. But I'm going to get started editing this model. The points that I have put down, the 2 green ones, click on them, you'll get a triad, and you can tug and pull on the legs of the triad or use one of the wings to move the control point in plane. One important thing to remember is that wherever you place the control point on the UV grid, SOLIDWORKS is going to keep it there at a certain percentage along this curve. So even if you push this back, you'll just be bunching up the UV grid on one side and stretching it out on the other. If you create a change that you want to undo, don't try to undo it through the regular SOLIDWORKS interface. Just use the undo on the property manager. Select this point, push it up. Select this, push it up a little further. You can add additional curves and say add additional points. In this case, to accept the points, I'm just going to click on the right mouse button. And now I can go ahead and click on this control point and then drag the point. Because I established symmetry on the part, I only have to make edits to one side. You can also control the shape of the feature at the edge. Notice that here we only have the continuity set to contact. It could be either tangent or curvature. Remember what we've learned before, that when you're dealing with shapes in 3D, it's often a good idea to use your 4 viewports. So if you click on the Window menu under Viewport, you can go to 4View. You have a larger monitor than I've got for creating edits. You'll be able to see better what's going on. So let's click on this curve and pull this arrow down. The arrow is controlling what happens at the edge. To get rid of the 4 viewports, just put your cursor at the center and double-click.